through it. So definitely gonna see the effects of that. That I guess the more open bracket here. As we are gonna be going in our next game, it looks like we're gonna be seeing two familiar teams actually to OSAS here: Chikara Clinkers and the Platinum Horde. The Platinum Hordes, I think, kind of having a little bit of a roster swap, not having the exact same. Not having the exact same roster that we've seen in previous weeks, but on the other hand, Chikara Clinkers is going to have the team that they've kind of, I think, run around with a bit. I believe Fox and Sox is more new to the roster. I think that Arctic and One True Unicorn are the mainstays on that roster. I believe that Fox and Sox might be subbing in today, but I can't remember. I might be misremembering.
I believe you are correct. I think okay. I recognize both Arctic and True Unicorn. They're both familiar faces for the side of the Chikara Clinkers.
I see. And a little bit of lore here on Fox and Sox. If you are a bit of a chatter in the OS main card, you might be familiar with his face. He's made quite a bit of content for us, I believe, making a little bit of those funny images that we like to share with each other. So I'd say a little bit of a fan favorite here in this roster going into this game. So on the other hand, though, we've got Jiggle Supreme, who I think at this point is a bit of a veteran. I've seen them in this bracket quite a bit. And he's going to be joined by That'll Do Pig and Cozy. I believe that's going to be how you pronounce that name. But I'm interested to see how this will turn out. I think that Chikara Clinkers has been a team that's been trying to qualify for basically all 6 weeks. With minor alterations in the roster, so I'd really like to see them. I think I'm gonna be I'll be a little bit biased. I'll root for them a little bit, but I'd like to see them make it through and have all of that hard work pay off for this season of OSAS. As even though we have more qualifications this week, it is your last chance to qualify. So if you're out this week, you're out for the season. That's it, you know.
Well. And let's not dwell too much on that, because honestly, I'd like to think more about the wins that people could take. Let's think about the qualifiers, and let's think about just how hard everybody has fought to get this far. Because I mean, we've had an entire season of OSAS behind us, and just seeing how the teams have grown over the time, it's been phenomenal. Even seeing players like Jiggle Supreme or Fox and Sox or Arctic, just any of them, seeing them all come from humble origins to where they are now, it's awe-inspiring.
Yeah, absolutely. And even though a lot of the, I'd say right now with the qualifications of Liftoff and the NSL NSA, is unfortunately a little bit too late for a lot of these OSAS teams to join. We will probably be seeing them, I think, in future tournaments as they kind of, get in the groove, improve their skills. The finale, it's going to be, I think, a lot of these teams' first big, thing, right? Their first big event where they'll come under a lot of pressure. And I think going into Liftoff, I think one of the narratives that I've kind of talked about a lot is the fact that it's an extremely hard, but it's also an extremely high stakes tournament. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be a situation where even a team that is better on paper could really easily be upset if they don't have that tournament experience, if they're not used to a lot of these high stake gameplay situations where you're kind of putting everything on the line. So getting any of that experience wherever you can, whether it be a qualification match or the finale, is going to help you quite a bit as a player going into those future tournaments. But for now, we're just going to be going into this humble little OSAS round 2 game, which is going to be a night market. It looks like we've got our first Mako hover of the night, I believe. So maybe we'll see it come out. No.
Immediately swapping to Aimi. They heard you, Arctic heard you talking. They were like, nope, I'm not playing Mako now.
Yeah, first caster cursive tonight. Not going to be a hugely consequential one. Oh, and it looks like we've got a mistake. It looks like One True Unicorn has been placed as goalie. Which is not the arrangement that you want for these teams. I believe One True Unicorn is their forward player, so it is going to be the match is going to end right now. We're going to have to remake the lobby in just a second here.
Unfortunate, but mistakes happen.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm so happy that the remake system exists. By the way,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, before this would be a thing where we just tell you, yeah, you have to play it out. It would be a thing where it's like, sorry, your brawler player, they're in the net now. But hey, we live in better times.
Them's the breaks, kid.
Yeah.
Your forward doesn't know how to play goalie. Sucks to suck.
Yeah, real. But we are in in the loading screen again. It's still going to be Night Market. Different starting Awakenings. We didn't even see the original, so hey, no spoilers or anything like that. But Arctic's finally going to be on the goalie role that he wants. Is going to still hover that IME. And if I remember correctly, Fox and Sox is like a huge IME player, so I wonder actually which of the two are going to actually end up picking this character, but we'll see coming in just a second.
We will definitely have to see, because between the two of them, I know they're both very avid IME players, but it doesn't even matter because it seems the Platinum Horde has opted to ban IME.
Yeah. Well, looks like both both Arctic and Fox and Sox are not going to have their pick, but we are going to see a Kai pick actually come out from one True Unicorn at TTV here. And we'll see what they'll be able to cook up on this 9-part guy. I think it's a pretty hard map for Kai. Kai really likes those open maps, but if you're able to get a lot of good barrages going in, it won't really matter all too much, as we are going to see Arctic locking in the Dubugoli, and judging by the ascended pose from Arctic, I think it's going to be something that they might be familiar with a bit. Fox and Sox ending up locking in that Estelle, and we're going to see Atlas, Rasmus, and Chikara from this side. From the side of, man, these team names are so hard. From the side of Platinum Horde, that's what they are. Yeah.
It's very interesting because it seems that Chikara Clinkers has actually opted for a double midfield comp, so hopefully they'll be able to win a lot of those midfield interactions. And as we see, they won one right there and took a barrier off it first thing. A very exciting pace to the match already. We'll have to see if it keeps up.
Yeah, and one thing too, actually, it's, even though it's not exactly a double midfield comp, it's about as close as you could get for the side of for the Platinum Horde as well. So we'll see how that'll fare up for the double melee goalies from both teams. But for now, we are going to see Fox and Sox and one True Unicorn trying to find something, but not able to find anything yet. Tofu Fortress comes out, which will block That'll Do Pig's advance. Goes into the Xenocloak to rotate back, but Fox and Sox is there and ready. Going to pick up the core yet again, but an unfortunate bounce off the Night Market Center is going to send it to the side of Arctic. Now, one True Unicorn not able to win the strike war against Treacle Supreme, and now Arctic is forced on that defensive yet again. Shotgun comes out, not able to find anything just quite yet, as now Fox and Sox again is going to be dribbling. Not able to mix up Jiggle Supreme, ready for that Rose Warp here, as now we're hitting into overtime. Flip comes out from Fox and Sox, but nothing is found again. Now, it's going to be Jiggle Supreme the one to blow their flip, as Cozy again finds himself with a core and is barely saved away by Arctic. Arctic, with a fortunate whip strike, I think, loses all tempo on the defensive play, and That'll Do Pig will be able to take advantage with a nice little lock and load in the first point. Goes over to the side of the Platinum Horde.
Happened more than once to everybody. It's okay, Arctic. Shake it off. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. In the famous words of the now deceased Staffgrass, may he rest in peace, every goalie gets their one, and that'll be the one getting it out early here in the game, just trying to get off those round 2 nerves, as That'll Do Pig is not going to find the strike or win against Fox and Sox. This means that one True Unicorn is going to burn that defensive core flip from That'll Do Pig. Now Arctic with possession of the core goes over to Fox and Sox, who tries to pass to one True Unicorn, but he's going to end up passing to nothing, as his Ford is going to be taken off the net. Able to get a nice little reverse power play here, but Cozy is walking up. Has that core flip to take this final goalie barrier if it gets to him, but it's not for now, as Jiggle Supreme is going to be the one on the defensive. That'll Do Pig with the Drakkar combo strike shotgun, able to get the core upfield to Cozy, but Cozy is going to have to burn his flip. It's going to be blocked away regardless by Arctic, as now Fox and Sox loses strike war, and again, it looks like Arctic will be the one to have to clear as he passes up to one True Unicorn TTV, not able to find anything with the use of the cooldowns, unfortunately, so the core remains in play a little bit longer. Now, Cozy and That'll Do Pig able to get that final goalie barrier on the map, but Fox and Sox and Arctic are both really high on energy, so if they're able to just get 1 or 2 more redirects, yeah, that's 2 flips for the side of Chikara Clinkers. Can they use this to their advantage? Yes, they can. One True Unicorn able to win that strike war against, or actually, I think he lost the strike war, but Jiggle Supreme unfortunately had too tight of an angle on the clear, but you know, you take those. Good job to one True Unicorn.
Take those. We take those. Yeah, it seems like even with the tempo that True Unicorn and Fox and Sox are trying to establish, it's just not enough tempo. It seems like That'll Do Pig is just opting to play a little bit more defensively, and it's working out excellently in the favor of the Platinum Horde.
Yeah, absolutely. And for now we are, and I think it's also kind of like interesting. We did see an aerial start. I think I should an aerial's primetime start, and interestingly enough, That'll Do Pig did not opt into the primetime. I think really wanted to use that extra projectile speed to maybe get like a really, I guess like a little bit extra range on their shotguns to maybe like catch a top clear or something like that. But I don't think it's helping too much. I think having that extra cooldown on the Chikara to have 3 primaries is really, really helpful, regardless of the situation. But maybe I'm wrong on that, as right now That'll Do Pig will be the one in front of the net trying to get a goal as we go into overtime here. Fox and Sox, unfortunately, not able to clear it out with the Rose Warp, and that means that 2 points will go over to the side of Platinum Horde here.
On the subject of Drakkar primetime versus aerials, I usually prefer aerials on Drakkar, just because having the additional cooldown of another shotgun, it's not always worth it usually. With rapid fire being out of rotation, it's probably more worth it to take it, but aerials is one of Drakkar's best in slot awakenings, so I think it's honestly better to probably take it instead, at least in this situation.
That's fair, and the extra Xenocloak speed is nothing to joke over as well in a double midfielder matchup where speed, I think, is king, and you won't be really looking for anything like KO victory conditions or anything. So honestly, whoever can get to the core first will probably have a really, really big advantage. As right now, speaking of the core, there's a lot of core flips going out, as One True Unicorn and Fox and Sox are going to be the one winning that interaction, but they're not able to confirm onto that final goalie barrier. It's going to be held down by Jiggle Supreme, and now Fox and Sox with a whiffed flip isn't going to matter, as Arctic is there to pick up the slack with a flip of his own, and Jiggle Supreme with a close, at the line save there with the Atlas, but unfortunately it won't mean anything. The overtime speed is a little too much for that Atlas to handle, and we are going 0.5 on the set.
0.5 on set 1, already an exciting start to our round 2 games, but I'm very, very happy with the performance of both teams. It seems like Fox and Sox is struggling a tiny bit, but they're opting to help out a little more in the goal box, and Arctic is really managing to hold it down as well.
Yeah, and honestly, on that Estelle, even if you're not performing too much, all you need to do is throw out those cooldowns to help your forward. Just having that one extra redirect from like the Crystal Thorns or the piercing beam, that could mean the difference between a won or a lost strike war for your forwards. So honestly, even if you aren't comfortable, you are having your main band away from you, you're still able to participate, which I think is important, as right now One True Unicorn is going to be the one actually defending for his life, as now Cozy and That'll Do Pig try to go on the offensive, but a good clear from Arctic right between the two enemy forwards is going to keep that last goalie barrier up. Now is going to be dribbled away by Cozy, who eventually wins that strike war against the Summer Assault, but Arctic does have that flip to work with, ends up using it, but it's going to be intercepted by Cozy, and the shotgun from That'll Do Pig is going to be timed perfectly. Set 1 goes over to the side of the Platinum Horde.
A little bit of, seems like miscoordination there at the end from the side of Chikara Clinkers. It seemed like they were not covering their respective sides as effectively as they should, but we see some size awakenings here on the board. Let's see if, yes, okay, so Cozy opts for the big fish, which will make it, like we said earlier in the last game, we might actually see a repeat where somebody takes Among Titans and gives a, no Among Titans picked up, but Twin Drive falling over to Arctic, and it seems like Reverb, Knife's Edge, and Peak Performance are other awakenings. Let's not drop out that Spark of Resilience either. What with Sparks already being as dominant as they are, could see some elections happening in this game.
Absolutely, and even with no Spark of Leadership, there's no there's no shortage of senatorial positions or anything like that, as do have the remaining Sparks still there in the draft, but for now it's going to be Cozy, the one using all that size to his advantage. That big fish on that Rasmus, able to put a little bit of pressure, but as I say that, it looks like the side of Chikara Clinkers is going to be the one with the aggression. Now an open goalie barrier for the side of Platinum Horde. Fox and Sox not able to intercept the pass, and that means Cozy does have an opportunity, but he's not going to find anything with it. Now, that'll do Pig winning the strike war in the midfield, which means that the core will go up. That Tofu Fortress has to be burned, but it's going to be saved by Cozy with an excellent pull to keep the goal from going in. Now, that'll do Pig and Cozy trying to actually get it clear, but a KO followed by a core flip is going to be what it takes to get the first point of the set over to Chikara Clinkers.
So something that is also important to note is that Arctic has taken 2 cooldown awakenings, so they have 2 charges of both of their main abilities. So not only are they able to hold it down more effectively, but they'll just have more cooldowns available to prevent the side of the Platinum Horde from just shoving it in.
Yeah, and we are going to see a lot of flips blowed here on the defensive. Open net for this side of the Platinum Horde. No Celestial or no Astral Expanse either, and that's going to make it all too easy for One True Unicorn's Barrage to get the second point. And even though they lost that first set, it looks like the side of Chikara Clinkers is roaring back into this already with a quick 2-0 victory here.
Something that I'm noticing is that Arctic is actually stepping up to help a lot more with these midfield interactions, and it's really helping Fox and Sox and True Unicorn actually take advantage and just secure barriers more easily.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want to see from the Momentum Boots Dubu. Kind of a staple on Night Market, an olden timey pick at this point here. Definitely something you like to see with that midfield pressure, with the Tofu Fortress, with the logs as well. But for now, we are going to see one goalie barrier down for both teams. Now the pull comes out from Cozy, and it's going to be barely defended away from Arctic, who is 1 or 2 redirects away from getting a flip. We'll see if that matters, though. There it is, as he doesn't even need it just quite yet. One True Unicorn and Fox and Sox trying to find any sort of offensive play here. They will eventually find it with the assistance of Arctic here. And now the piercing shot from Fox and Sox will set up Jiggle Supreme for failure. And just as soon as it happened, a set is taken by the side of Chikara Clinkers.
Very, very dominant performance and a very well-earned MVP from Arctic. He definitely was stepping up and helping with those midfield interactions and helping his team really secure barriers. And he's going to opt for the quick strikes, which will just make his defense even more insurmountable. We'll have to see how they're going to cope with this. They are going to, it seems like Cozy's going to opt for Demolitionist, Specialized falling over to True Unicorn. Honestly, the Demolitionist versus Quick Strike, I would honestly opt for Arctic to win that bout, just because the more cooldowns that they have, not only from their strikes, but just like having Twin Drive, having Prime Time, they're both like, they're just going to be able to hold down the net a lot more effectively.
Yeah, but I think double size on that Rasmus is a pretty critical breakpoint, especially, again, contested map of Night Market, winning all those strike wars. I mean, look how hard it is for One True Unicorn. Even though, as I say that, Caster's Curse does rear its head as the Cosmic Expanse does come out, which means that One True Unicorn has a nice little opportunity here. Actually not going to find the goalie barrier, but is going to find the KO, the Specialized Training Giga Blast. I'm such a huge fan of that. It's so fun. You get so many kills with it. But for now, it's going to be 3 seconds until Cozy is back. Now, Jiggle Supreme able to hold strong for now, allowing Cozy to come back and get some core possession. Pull comes out, hits Fox and Sox instead of the core. But that'll be just fine, as that does make a little bit of space for Jiggle Supreme here now. Tofu Fortress is out. Arctic mixed up, but it won't matter as One True Unicorn is there to help. Oh, but a good pocket from That'll Do Pig gets them to the first point in the set.
It seemed like Chikara Clinkers was having a little bit of a confidence boost there, of some resurgence, but it's definitely seeming like the Platinum Horde is not out of this game just yet. That double size on Rasmus might be the breakpoint that they need in order to take this game back into their hands.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I want to point out too is that That'll Do Pig still has 1 spark on the board, able to at least potentially get to the not the mayor, but what is it? The I forgot what the position was, but you know what I mean. 3 sparks, still very, very good, especially when one of them is that spark of agility. Already with 2 sparks, that spark of resilience makes you really hard to kill, but with 3, whoa! We get a little bit of little bit of scary redirections coming out from the Tofu Fortress here, but it won't mean anything for now as they are able to get that final goalie barrier. And Arctic with an amazing dimer off the central terrain of Night Market. One True Unicorn able to preserve their flip as they are able to equal up the set.
Something that not enough players do on Night Market is take advantage of the angles and the like crazy hits and like everything that you can really use on Night Market. So like just dribbling it off the center or just in general interacting with the terrain more is something I don't see out of enough players, and I've really loved seeing it out of Arctic.
Yeah, and I think it's Night Market that really has, I think, like one of the highest skill expressions for playing off terrain. There are so many insane angles that we keep like seeing. Like what comes to my mind is like the Era Shrunk beam that's able to get like an insane angle from like the top side of the map or the bottom side of the net, like barely like it's so hard to predict when the core is small. But I'm talking about a character that's not even on the map. Is that'll do pig will draw my attention back, getting a second point on the set. And even though Chikara Clinkers did get that second set, it might not mean anything if the side of Platinum Horde is able to get that final goal here. Though, as I say that, one goalie barrier goes down for them. Arctic able to use that somersault to prevent a McDouble from happening, but one goalie barrier is eventually going to go down. That'll do pig with a critical strike war win. Now opens up the net for the side of Chikara Clinkers. Arctic on the defensive, trying to find anything right now. Fox and Socks is there to assist, and now One True Unicorn is going to find himself with an opportunity, but nothing's going to be found right now. The Tofu Fortress is gone, but he has that flip to work with now. One True Unicorn trying to find anything. The blinks from Fox and Socks right now are unfortunately not doing all too much, I think, as he ends up, I feel like they're finding themselves like on top of their ally forward, and oh no! An unfortunate bounce off the terrain, dimes it up to That'll Do Pig, who has an all too easy shot onto the bottom side of the net. And just like that, we are one set away from the Platinum Horde moving on to their qualification game.
Bit of an unfortunate bounce, and it seems like Kuzi is going to be our first pick, and yet again opting for another Size Awakening on this already congested map. It seems like those Size Awakenings are really the nail in the coffin, like you said earlier.
That's triple size.
Extra special also falling over to Arctic. We'll see if they can win these defensive engagements and maybe help the midfield interactions a bit more that they're starting to lose because of this size.
Yeah, and look at how big that Rasmus is. He is a Titan even without the corresponding training, and I think it's going to mean a lot as, yeah, already we are going to see two quick barriers go down for the side of Chikara Clinkers. Fox and Socks able to help Arctic defend, but I don't know if that'll matter just quite yet. There are so many things flying at the net here for the side of Chikara Clinkers as now Jiggle Supreme does find himself on the defensive, but That'll Do Pig is there. A good blink from Fox and Socks keeps the core on the side of the Platinum Horse map, but Arctic, oh no, was not paying attention, maybe had a bit of a connection issue, and that'll be an unfortunate point going over to the side of the Platinum Horde, who are 2 goals away from advancing to their qualification game.
So something that you said in the last set that I'm still recognizing a bit of right now is that Fox and Socks is unfortunately seeming to blink a lot on top of Unicorn and not really covering the space that Unicorn's not able to occupy. And it's really adding up with the awakenings that the Platinum Horde already has. Like, it's spelling a bit of disaster. Oh! Speaking of disaster, a shotgun will send Fox and Socks off the arena.
Yeah, and that's a 0 power core flip shotgun Drakkar KO. That's quite rare among the Drakkar KOs. So that's something you definitely hate to see. Though that being said, this Drakkar is not weak at all with a triple spark, able to get that second goalie barrier. One True Unicorn not able to respawn in kind, as now Arctic is the one to have to defend some dicey clears. Flip comes out from One True Unicorn, does open up the net. But now Arctic finds himself in a 2v1 situation, but the flip is perfect, sending that into the enemy net from his own, and now Arctic taking matters into his own hand and tying up the set.
Unicorn applying pressure there really drew Jiggle Supreme's attention away from the bottom side of the net, and with both his forwards up, there just wasn't much that he could do to catch it on the bottom. Maybe a good primary could have saved it, but...
I mean, that just looked really hard to save, yeah. Once that flip came out, it looked like it was curtains. Right now, Jiggle Supreme actually going to get stuffed away by One True Unicorn TTV. The flip, unfortunately, going to waste as that goalie barrier does go down. Now, if the core gets the One True Unicorn, things could be curtains for this point for the side of the Platinum Horde, but that does not happen. Gigablast comes out to help Arctic, able to clear it out once, but can he do it again? That'll Do Pig is there with the triple spark. He's running so fast, honestly, which means that core control is just so hard for the side of Chikara. Clinkers now. Cozy trying to get that final goalie barrier, but nothing is found right now. Jiggle Supreme trying to keep the core clear of his net, which he's able to do. Now Fox and Sox, though, does have that flip. Just needs to win 1 or 2 strike wars to set it up for his forward. Flip does eventually come out from both midfielders, though it does go in the advantage of the Platinum Horde. Is now Strike Shotgun is there, but it's blocked away by the Tofu Fortress. Now One True Unicorn trying to find that barrage, but nothing found so far. Log comes out, not able to find anything, but the core flip is there. Passes to One True Unicorn. It's set up. The excellent bounce comes out into the Giga Blast. And that is a really nice point scored from the side of Chikara. Clinkers 1 more point from evening up the game.
That was a very crucial core flip, but it does unfortunately leave Arctic without flip for this round and without any energy. So, and we see a bit of that right now with Cozy hitting a good pendulum swing, and an unfortunate death touch will bounce it off the center terrain and into the bottom bin. We are 0.5 of the 3rd set in this game. It's now or never.
That's 1 point for the side of the Platinum Horde to get into their qualification game, something that Jiggle Supreme and crew have been trying to get for so long, but other people have wanted to get it for so long too, and one of those teams is going to be the Chikara Clinkers. Has been here pretty much every single week when they can, so we'll see if that dedication pays off. Now, open net for the side of the Platinum Horde. It is going to bounce back, but That'll Do Pig is there in the wings, ready to get it. Shotgun not able to find the core. Now Arctic with a somersault, able to clear it 1 more time. Log is able to save it again, and both goalie berries hold for now, but no, one of them goes down just as I say it. Now Fox and Sox trying to help his goalie defend away, isn't able to do so, as now Cozy finds it in the perfect position for That'll Do Pig, who wins a critical strike war. And that will be Platinum Horde moving on to their qualification game.
A valiant effort from Chikara Clinkers, but unfortunately it seems like the Platinum Horde came out on top. It really was unfortunate that 3 Size Awakenings fell to Cozy, and Cozy getting a very well-deserved MVP, getting some decent damage, some redirects along, or as well, almost as many as his midfielder, but it just seemed like they were just able to pull off the double midfield comp just a little bit better than Chikara Clinkers, but I don't know. The rotations, just like the ability for the Platinum Horde to just keep it upfield, not allow Arctic the breathing room that he needs in order to come upfield and assist. It's just truly unfortunate, but it does seem like the Platinum Horde will be moving on, and on top of that, the Chikara Clinkers aren't out of this just yet.
Yeah, and speaking of the Platinum Horde, we're gonna see them again. Actually, they're gonna be the first game popping here for their qualification match. So we're gonna be seeing them versus Solo Q, which are some players that actually I'm familiar with, Draco, Cat, Shine, and Selenia. Selenia, kind of a little bit of a veteran here of OSAS, actually. Their first appearance was in OSAS Season 1, with 2.5 Women. Unfortunately, they weren't able to take it all, but did have a pretty good run in the finale. That being said, though, Cat Kupo and Ketty did hit Challenger and thus disqualified themselves for the series, though they still live on in Westy Wednesday. Of course, Cat Kupo may have beaten me in a bracket before, but hey, that happens. That happens to the best of us. But, hey, that you take that. You take those, and you take what you can. And honestly, I'm pretty familiar with Draco Cat's game. Their game is IME. That's their game. That's the long and short of it. They're actually a Pummeler's IME enjoyer. Really a fan of getting a lot of those cyber swipe combos. So if that's something that could happen in that game, I could very easily see Draco Cat taking over the entire game for her team. But on the other side, we did see a very nice performance from the side of the Platinum Horde. That'll do Pig and Cozy looking very nice on that offense with the Chikara and Rasmus. And of course, no slouch in the side of Jiggle Supreme, though. Even though only had half the redirects of Arctic in that last game, was able to hold it down in a lot of situations. 73 saves to their name, so not something that is not exactly paper, I would say, coming out from Jiggle Supreme. But we'll see what comes of this game in a second. Oh, and I believe this is... Oh, holy crap. Yo, West Coast represent. This is a West Coast game, I believe, that we're going to have coming up here. So, hey, shout out to the West Coast. We have our own little culture, I suppose. West Coast biased always comes out, but
can't relate. I'm an Eastie. Well, technically I'm Central, but I'm technically an Eastie. I get worse ping on West.
That's fair. Happens to a lot of people, especially Canadians. Except the West Canadians just get bad ping everywhere. So hey, 07 to Marissa and J-Dog, you guys have it rough. But we will see West coming out. So we're probably going to see. I don't know if any of these players are Canadian, but we'll see if I'm guessing we're going to have an Oregon server. That's usually the server that most people default to. But we'll see. Oh, well, yeah, we'll see. But we'll see if which West Coast team comes out today. Of course. Funny thing, every time I have casted an East v West game, the West team is lost. That's almost universally. So hey, at least it can't rear its head here. So no matter what, a West Coast team will win and a West Coast team will lose. So I'm not too worried. It looks like we're going to be going to Northern California, which is hey. You like that? Like to see it?
I think by a technicality, the caster curse that you just talked about is probably still going to happen anyways. One's going to win, one's going to lose.
I guess that's true. Well, here I am again. But yeah, the curse exists with the two kind of recurring Nassel casters, me and Edzi Yoshi. Pretty much every time we get a cast, especially when we get a duo, kind of our thing is that the way that kind of scheduling works out, it usually ends up meaning that we either cast Sundubu or Goats. Just happens to be that way a lot of the time. But every time we cast, they lose, and that sucks. That sucks. The last one that happened in Nassel specifically was Sundubu versus I believe it was Core Overflow that was facing them in losers round 1, and Core Overflow was able to take it against Sundubu.
Yeah, I think it was Core Overflow.
Yeah. So hey, unfortunate, but what can you do?
It happens.
Yeah, and we are waiting for the side of Solo Q to get into the game here. I believe Draco Cat's going to be the midfield, Selenia's going to be the forward, which means Shine is going to be the goalie for this team, actually. The player out of all three of them that I'm least familiar with. Not entirely sure what their character pool is, but I know that Selenia does have a pretty standard brawler pool, the X, the Julie. So definitely a team that could succeed in things like Night Market and things like... Night Market. I think that Clarion of course is there as well. That could get a little bit congested as well. But if you have a Pummeler's IME, there's only so many places you want to be. So we'll see. We'll see what map ends up being picked up. Yeah, X. Yeah. We'll see. We're still waiting. It looks like we are going to be going to Oni Village for this, though. So, immediately I am proven wrong. We'll see if the Pummeler's IME does come out, because I don't know. I mean, Pummeler's IME is like, it's like a weird one, because like people are going to be playing in the speed lanes, and that extra cyber swipe will let you get a lot of kills. But
I don't know. I feel like taking anything other than speed gear on Oni is just kind of troll, just a little bit.
feel like you really want the slit kicks, you really want the magnetized souls, depending on your playstyle, but like you kind of want one of them. I'm a big fan of the slit kicks. Era player, Era Kai player at this point as well. So, you know, I like to see it. But of course, magnetized souls is not something that's awful to take as well, especially if you're going to be running back and forth across that midfield line. But we are seeing the players load into this lobby here. Dracocat and Selenia have shown up, waiting for Shine as well. Just waiting for that one slot. Oh, there they are. There they are. Gonna need a little bit of swaps on the positions, but after that, we should be good to go. I think, is Dracocat the goalie? No. Okay, Dracocat's not the goalie. Confirmation from Starchichi. Dracocat is not the goalie. That would have surprised me a bit. Yeah. Hey. All right, there we go. Swaps are coming out. We're getting in the game any second now. Should be there in just a second on, I believe, our first Oni Village map of the night. We've seen 2 night market games so far. So already from a congested map, we're going to go into an open map here.
I am happy about the map changes. I can, as much as I love watching this game, I can only watch so much night market before I'm like, okay, I need to see a new map, please.
Okay, you know what? I gotta say it. Okay, listen. I mentioned the whole thing about Dracocat being goalie. Dracocat said they were a goalie, that she was a goalie main in beta, and then immediately Sai responds, "But the beta is fake. Even Brickbat was Omega in beta XDD." So I've been taking strays here. I've been taking strays here for no reason. For no reason. And you know what? Speaking of strays, it is gonna be that'll do pick probably catching this one, as we are seeing the Chikara ban being hovered here.
Omega in beta XDD.
Omega in beta XDD. Hey, I was probably a mediocre Omega in beta. Yeah, I wasn't a bad Omega though, I swear. Oh, and that's an Octavia. Hey, you know what? It happens.
Maybe as well our first Mako of the night, or Mako? Mako?
Mako, I think it's Mako, yeah.
Mako. I think Mako sounds about right.
Yeah, and we are going to see Mako being picked up. Actually, a character that we mentioned earlier has a little bit of mobility issues, to be quite honest. So on that Oni Village, I'm a little bit worried, but speaking of mobility, we do see an Octavia come out, which, you know, you always love to see. And let's see it. Oh, it's a Chrono Boost start.
Naturally.
Yeah, it's a Chrono Boost start. And I'm a little bit worried about this Vambrace pickup from Selenia. Maybe worried about the Rasmus and the Zentaro damage scaling. But honestly, on a character that already has mobility issues on Oni Village, I just think you really, really want something like the Mag Souls to kind of be where you need to be. But it might not matter, though. It is an Octavia with a Chrono Boost after all. But we'll see if anything will come of it, as one barrier is actually going to be saved away by Druggle Supreme with a nice little astral projection. Gore goes over to the side of Shine, though. Barrage does help save it from the combo of Battle Dupig, allowing Selenia to maybe get one thing going, but not going to find anything right now. The Mako secondary going to come out, giving a little bit of extra move speed to Selenia's teammates, but nothing's going to be found right now, and that specially is going to whiff, which means that both the goalie barriers remain up for the side of Platinum Horde. Now Dracocat trying to find possession of the core. Celestial Intervention does come out here as Dracocat, unfortunately, that's going to be a flow state down, which means that the side of Solo Q is going to be waiting a little bit more for any offensive opportunity, as we are getting an overtime here. Selenia with flip, that's going to be followed with a flip coming out for Jiggle Supreme as well, and now Shine has a flip as well. Elects to burn it, double core flip burned, but it's going to be blocked away by Jiggle Supreme's kit. Now it's Dracocat finding herself with a flow state and a flip. Gonna keep that flow state up with the base drop, trying to find anything right now, but it's seconds away from being gone. Flip does come out to preserve that flow state. Not gonna find much more from it, and unfortunately a whiff projectile from Dracocat means that her flow state will go down. Now Cozy with a flip needs to get in front of that net if the core can get to them, but they're not gonna find anything just quite yet. Selenia able to dribble it past Atlas one time, but not two, as now the core is going back over to the side of Solo Q. The core is in overtime, of course, which means that these speed lanes are going to be even more deadly for both goalies. Now, base trap comes out from Dracocat, not able to get the defense that she would like. Cozy does still have that flip, but is not able to find a good position for themselves. But just as I say that, the core goes dangerously close to the net, but the Giga Blast is there to intercept it before Cozy is able to get anything. No cooldowns for Shine, and that's going to be an overtime pendulum swing, scoring their first point of the game, going over to the side of Platinum Horde.
So something that I'm noticing that we touched on a bit earlier is that Selenia is just having a bit of issue moving around the map. So Draco Cat is just having to step back a bit more, act as the midfielder, when I think it's just, it might be an issue of, like, not enough mobility.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm not entirely sure how that gets fixed. I mean, like, Stacks is gone from the Awakening pool. Like, you have things like Peak Performance now, but like even like Orb Dancer is gone. Like there are mobility options, and maybe there's a world where you get size and you can actually Oki pretty well. But I think that these issues are kind of rearing its head. But as I say that, That'll Do Pig finds themselves with a flip after a taken goalie barrier from Selenia. That being said, we're going to see Rasmus on the offensive here in the flow state. Octavia will not be able to win that strike war. That's 2 points going over to the side of the Platinum Horde.
Very, very dominant performance from the Platinum Horde, and I don't know, it seems to me like there's not really many remedies for the speed issue. It just seems like Draco Cat will have to play a little bit more defensively and maybe let Selenia play offensively. I don't think an Oki strategy would really be the play either.
So that being said, I think that Okiing on Mako is untested. Obviously, the character is so new, and at this point, like, even the beta testers haven't had that much experience with the character. But that secondary looks really good for stuffing it past even someone like an Atlas. I mean, so many, like, it's just so much force forward on the core, and wow, such good passing play from the side of the Platinum Horde. Just making Draco Cat and Shine, like, just breaking ankles. I mean, look at, like, Draco Cat had her entire flow state taken away just from passing plays, and if you're not burning any cooldowns to take that Octavia out of there, things are going to be looking really, really rough going into the next sets of the game, as we are getting into draft here.
Indeed, indeed, and there are some interesting awakenings here. I don't know what... Okay, so Kuzi opts for aerials. Definitely a good choice given the spectrum of options that are here. Super Surge being taken away from That'll Do Pig. Let's see what both Draco Cat and Selenia opt for instead. They both opt for extra special reverb and glass cannon falling over to Jiggle Supreme. Gonna be a little bit harder for them to defend, or gonna be a little bit harder for the side of excuse me, name is failing me. Solo.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And it's Christmas season, which means we are going to see a goalie on the skates as well. Momentum boots plus Dagger Swagger plus glass cannon. Look at this Atlas. He's jogging. He's got his joggers on. He's running around so fast, and that extra mobility will spell even more doom, I think, for any pressure that Selenia will be looking for in this game. But as I say that, Chrono Boost Octavia is still in the game. It's still a win condition for the side of solo queue as it's getting refreshed over and over. Flip comes out, blocked away from Cozy, but it doesn't even matter. Draco Cat is getting this core. And no, unfortunately, a little bit of miscommunication, I think. Shine clearing away from Draco Cat means Draco Cat will be losing her flow state right now. The Mako special is going to come out, able to grab that goalie barrier. Selenia with Flip if the core can get to them. Shine, though, going to be the one on the offensive. Unfortunately, not going to be able to defend. The Giga Blast is there, but it's stopped by That'll Do Pig. And whoa, flip after flip after flip comes out. Jiggle Supreme baited out by what looked like a Kaz angle from Selenia, but we are in overtime here. Draco Cat does have that flow state, needs to touch this core, but is not able to do so. And there we go, that speed of that Atlas allowing that Atlas to play a little bit more aggressively and make a few more positioning mistakes, as all that move speed almost cost Jiggle Supreme the goal, but good passing plays are coming out. That'll Do Pig and Cozy now on the aggressive flip is there for Cozy, but it's not even needed. That'll Do Pig with a nice little bottom shot means that 1 point goes over to the side of the Platinum Horde, who again are 2 sets away from qualifying for the finale.
So not only are the mobility issues that we talked about earlier, or the immobility rather, being highlighted here, but the amount of move speed from the side of the Platinum Horde is just making it really hard for Draco Cat to keep up, even with flow state.
Yeah, and you know, you're gonna get all the refreshes that you want, but if you're not able to convert to barriers, eventually that flow state is gonna go down. I mean, just all it takes is one whiff strike, one whiff projectile, and all of a sudden you've got an Octavia that without that flow state doesn't really have much to her name as well. But again, yeah, I mean, just look at Selenia. Selenia is just running back and forth, trying to find just anything, but nothing's being found, and I think that's costing so much offensive pressure to the side of solo queue. But as I say that, base drop does come out. Sorry, flip is there. I'm currently experiencing hiccups, but hey, that's what happens. And speaking of hiccups, finally a hiccup comes out from Jiggle Supreme's play as Selenia able to catch that top side clear, able to preserve her flip as well, as we are tied up on the set.
Some good positioning there. They are definitely, it seems like solo queue is definitely not out of this just yet, but an unfortunate burned flip will mean that there is no energy on that resource bar, but it doesn't matter when you can just KO the enemy team. It seems like that'll do Pig being on the unfortunate receiving end of a Mako special to the face.
Yeah, absolutely. Though that power play is coming to an end with only one goalie barrier taken. Right now, Selenia trying to find anything, but again, it's just going to be cleared away pretty easily to the top side. Now, Cozy trying to find a little bit of aggressive play for themselves. That'll do Pig, not able to get it past that Draco Cat Octavia with that Chrono Boost, able to stack up that speed over and over again, and this stacking is happening now. Now it's really hard to clear away. They're just ping-ponging it with this Octavia here. It's flow state's not going down, but you know what? He's going down, actually. Draco Cat themselves able to be taken out here by That'll Do Pig's secondary. Now Shine not able to defend that last goalie barrier, which means Cozy has an opportunity. Not able to find anything just quite yet as Draco Cat is back up. Though now Cozy does have a flip for themselves. Jiggle Supreme giving up that final goalie barrier, unfortunately, which means things could be reversed in just a sec, but Cozy does still have that flip. Shine's Giga Blast does come out. He will preserve the play for a little bit longer. Flip comes out, but it's going to be blocked away by the death touch of Cozy. Now Jiggle Supreme has flip. Elected, you could use it. Draco Cat not able to find that Strike War win. As right now, it's going to be Selenia playing in the midfield for a little bit. Now Draco Cat rotating back over with that flow state gone. Able to be cleared away one more time by Shine's Giga Blast. And oh no! The base drop almost gets an own goal, but it doesn't even matter. That'll do Pig with a nice little angle. Again, finding that bottom side of the net, getting 2 points for the Platinum Horde in the set.
Platinum Horde just really using their mobility just inherently in their strikers, and the awakenings that they've chosen have, like, it's just been too easy for them to capitalize off of it. And with Selenia kind of out of the game because of a lack of mobility, it's just, I don't know. It seems like Platinum Horde just has the ticket.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is going to be tied up right now. Goalie barriers for both teams going to stay up, and base drop is going to come out from Draco Cat, but nothing found right now, as That'll Do Pig with some really nice dribbling strike wars. Good passing play to Cozy, but not going to find anything from it. Selenia does have that flip, but doesn't even need it quite yet, as Draco Cat is able to snipe away that second goalie barrier, but Shine's going to lose his as well. Now Death Touch comes out from Cozy, trying to find an interrupt to the passing plays. Again, Selenia is just waiting in the center of the map for this flip. Is going to have to burn it now, though. Not going to be able to find a goal for this. And now Shine's going to be up to bat, almost able to get it, and Selenia is going to be the one to finish off that play. 2-2 on the set, and potentially a critical set win if Draco Cat can get her hands onto something like the Castellast.
This is the set to come back on. It is 2-2. It is probably one of the most important sets to try and take or stage a comeback on, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. And there it is, Selenia now dribbling back and forth, building up that tension for Jiggle Supreme and Cozy. They are able to hold out for now. Barrage blown by Shine to keep the core away from their goalie barrier. Now Selenia again trying to stay in that corner, trying to be a little bit of a wall, using the advantages of Mako to make sure the core doesn't go past her, but eventually will be clear to the top side. Draco Cat now with the flow state. If they're able to preserve their flow state, that'll be big, but they're not able to do that right now. Flip comes out from That'll Do Pig, but Cozy still has a flip, and now Jiggle Supreme is going to be walking out. Flip comes out from Cozy, and it can't be defended by the side of Solo Q, and now we have a 2-0 set lead, crushing the dreams of Solo Q in this qualification game.
Really, really unfortunate. It seems like Selenia's kit on Mako just is too short-ranged, and without without a major amount of mobility to help them get around, it's just not feasible for them to win a lot of these interactions.
Yeah,
but
and that is going to be that Castellastinai coming out, unfortunately, which I think is a really big, really sad for this Draco Cat. This Draco Cat Octavia. It's kind of a win con, I think, and really, really needed in these core control situations, but it's going to be denied away from Cozy, so things are looking a little bit grim.
Things are looking a little bit grim, but they are as grim as it looks. They are not out of the game just yet. I have faith that they can maybe turn something around, but as the game goes on, we'll have to see if they can deliver on that faith.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I think to talk about as well is this like monster of an Atlas build actually coming together. The Monumentalist pickup from Jiggle Supreme plus all that movement speed. As I said, a bit of a caster's curse, but regardless, it's gonna be it's already really hard, it seems, for the side of Solo Q to get it past Jiggle Supreme. But with all those awakenings being picked up as we go into later sets here, it's gonna be even harder, especially because I mean, that Monumentalist makes it so hard to like do a lot of those passing plays on the open net, which is how you get around that Atlas on Oni Village. But you know, as I say, there are some some dangerous clears coming out from the side of Jiggle Supreme as we are getting into overtime here, but that'll do Pig and Cozy find themselves in the advantage right now as Jiggle Supreme again with a really nice clear, able to get the core in play. Now Draco Cat though has a flip. If it gets to her, it's gonna be curtains on the point. But as of right now, Cozy and That'll Do Pig make it so that the flip has to be blown a bit early. Now, That'll Do Pig with possession of the core, unfortunately, is going to hand it over to Selenia, who uses advantage of that invitation to almost score a goal for themselves. And right now, Draco Cat trying to get it through Jiggle Supreme again. All that move speed on the Atlas makes it so hard to find a hole in the armor, and there it goes. Jiggle Supreme able to hold it, make some critical clears with all that move speed, and that allows Cozy to eventually put it in the net. And again, 2 points away from qualification for the side of Platinum Horde.
So not only is Platinum Horde just dominating in this, like, dominating in the midfield presence, but like, it just seems like at every opportunity they have an answer to what Solo Q wants to do. Like, it seems as though there's always a clear angle, there's always somebody to pass to, but I don't know. I will have to see how Solo Q tries to turn this around, because it's still looking pretty grim.
Yeah, absolutely. And flip does come out from Shine defensively. Won't even mean anything, though, as that first goalie barrier does go down, but still has 2 to work with. It is only Village after all, though. Draco Cat now trying to chase after the core, but it's not going to go into her hands, which is just so unfortunate. If you can't get this Octavia to get this flow state stacked up and score, you know, those critical goals, it's just going to look so awful. And unfortunately, it's going to look even worse as Selenia is going to whiff a flip, but trying to recover right now. Draco Cat again has her flow state as we are getting into overtime here. Not going to find anything again. And Shine now trying to get it cleared over and over again, but it's only going to take one slip off for the curtains to call, and that's one thing that's going to make it even harder. Draco Cat going to be knocked away for 12 seconds now. That'll do Pig and Cozy trying to get past Selenia, and that secondary from Mako, making it really hard for it to happen. Able to buy that time for Draco Cat to get back into the game, but even with 3 people, it seems like Solo Q is really struggling to get a core past Jiggle Supreme, who has a flip, has all the cooldowns, is sitting so pretty, and able to get so many cross clears against Selenia, who again, this whole entire game has had mobility issues, literally only has a knife's edge to her name for any sort of mobility. And flip comes out, pass down to That'll Do Pig, the flip comes out, and that's 2 points for the side of the Platinum Horde, 1 point away from punching their ticket into next week's finale.
Platinum Horde definitely earning their way to the finale, or at least trying to at the very least, but I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you what Solo Q needs to do in order to turn things around here. It just seems, like I said earlier, that that the Platinum Horde just has their ticket.
Yeah, absolutely.
But right as I say that, Selenia with an excellent flip secures the barrier and finds a good bounce off the bottom barrier into securing a goal for themselves. Maybe I spoke a little too soon.
Hey, and sometimes you just need to find yourself in the right place at the right time, and sometimes that place is touching the Rasmus special and getting yourself in the perfect position to score a goal. But hey, you take those if you are the side of Solo Q. Again, trying to fight for the qualification here. Does have a second chance in the losers brackets, but you never want to get those long games. But as I say that, it's going to be DracoCat being sent off the map with a core flip from Cozy. Now, Jiggle Supreme trying to find passing plays for his team. Cozy and That'll Do Pig trying to make advantage of his power play, but unfortunately, it does come to an end. So now DracoCat is back onto the court. Now, Shine and DracoCat trying to get it forward over to Selenia again. The Death Touch does come out to buy a little bit of time for that flow state to go away. It is going to eventually run out as DracoCat is staggered, and again, it's going to be sent off the map. The map goes secondary, unfortunately not going to block the pass, but it won't matter as That'll Do Pig is going to whip their flip, which probably means the end of this defensive play. And no, just as I say that, Caster's Curse almost rears its head, but the flip is not going to mean anything. That second goalie barrier does go down, and we are only one mistake for the side of Solo Q to allow Platinum Horde to make their way into the qualification. Barrage comes out from Shine. A critical save comes out. Zentaro special does come out. Shine trying to defend it away. Cleared up by Shine. The flip comes out from Selenia, but it's blocked away from Jiggle Supreme. The offensive play is unstoppable from the side of the Platinum Horde right now. Now Cozy down to That'll Do Pig, trying to find anything. One mistake from DracoCat and Shine, and that's it for the entire game. Flow state is up. Maybe a little bit of offensive play can come up. The flow state is still there, but Selenia is the one trying to find that second goalie barrier for their team. Now Cozy and That'll Do Pig just sitting Cozy on that top side, trying to find that offensive play. A critical strike or win means it's going to go dangerously close to the net again, but now it's Cozy going to be the one, has all the cooldowns, has all the space to work with, and That'll Do Pig again finds a critical strike war, but Shine holds again and again and again, fighting so hard for the qualification life. Now Jiggle Supreme sitting pretty with that core flip, able to find any sort of pressure from the side of DracoCat is going to be cleared away easily. Now, again, once saved by the midfielder of Solo Q, Cozy with possession of the court, going forward with that secondary move speed, but not able to find anything just yet. Flip comes out from DracoCat, but it's blocked away by Jiggle Supreme, but DracoCat eventually wins that interaction, but Cozy is there to protect. Now, no flow state for DracoCat, trying to find anything, but we are in overtime in Oni Village. And right now the core is going a little fast for both, for all four forwards really to deal with. But oh, That'll Do Pig reads the strike from Selenia, which means it's going to be dangerous yet again. Shine has a core flip built, is forced to blow it here defensively. Now DracoCat dribbling back and forth, trying to build up a flow state, able to win these interactions in the midfield, which means we have a second goalie barrier going down for the side of Jiggle Supreme, and there it is. The Octavia win condition is found, the movement speed is there, and 2 points go over to the side of Solo Q.
What an exhilarating fourth set, or fourth point. We'll have to see. Like, I don't know. It seems like they're coming into their own a little bit. Solo Q finding a bit of their rhythm, and Shine absolutely monstrously, like, finding the ability to hold it down. And what do I mean finding? They've been securing the goal box the entire game, but it's just in this crucial moment, that's really when you need your goalie to perform.
Yeah, absolutely. And now it's up to DracoCat and Selenia to pick up their weight as well. Shine has done his best, but we'll see if that will mean anything, as again, 1 point will determine the fate of DracoCat, Selenia, and Shine here, who's looking low, no flow state as well, might spend some time in the penalty box, but no, a blunder comes out from Jiggle Supreme, which means it's an open net. Now it's only one more opportunity needed from the side of Solo Q to get this goal in, but DracoCat's going to find themselves no stagger, no dodge as we go into overtime here, and that might make the difference here, as that lack of pressure from the Octavia is showing. The core is not leaving the side of solo queue, but Selenia does have that flip to work with. Elects to use it, but it's going to be blocked away by Jiggle Supreme. Now Draco Cat finds himself with a clear upwards. Going to be going to the side of Jiggle Supreme's net, and now Shine is there with the offensive play from the Kai, but it's not able to find anything now. Selenia trying to get it past Cozy here, but Cozy with a good pass to That'll Do Pig will be enough. Both now teams have an open goalie barrier. Draco Cat winning some strike war engagement. Selenia not able to find the core, and now it's looking dire for the side of solo queue. But as I say that, the core goes a little too fast for Jiggle Supreme to get, even with the glass cannon, even with the momentum boots. And now we are going to set 4. Solo queue desperately holding on to their qualification point here. And now Draco Cat's going to be rewarded with their pick of the litter.
And what a pick they have. They have their choice of Quick Strikes, Fighter Flight, or Twin Drive. They opt for the Twin Drive, probably the best option out of the bunch. But Quick Strikes, honestly, probably wouldn't have been a bad choice either. But instead, Quick Strikes goes over to Shine. Shine will probably have a much better defense. And a Hot Shot going over to Jiggle Supreme. Probably make it a lot harder for the Draco Cat to really secure those barriers now. And it seems like Selenia opting for the Demolitionist while Fighter Flight falls to Cozy, and Perfect Form on Zentaro. Just going to make things a lot harder for the side of solo queue, as they're going to struggle to defend just a little bit more now.
Yeah, and already we saw at the end of that set, Draco Cat was just struggling to stay alive with, but with that Perfect Form Zentaro, who is, spending a little bit of time on vacation. But once he comes back, he's going to be a huge damage force coming into this potential fourth set of the game, or final set of the game. So if Draco Cat's not able to stay alive, the Twin Drives won't even matter. But as for now, things are looking good with momentum in favor of the side of solo queue, and that size actually already coming into play with Selenia here, winning a lot more strike wars, looking a lot more threatening. And look at that! This is the Oki Mako that I've been talking about. Selenia's just standing right on top of Jiggle Supreme, and like that, the second goalie barrier goes down. Finally, we are seeing an adaptation come out from the side of solo queue, and that might make all the difference. But for now, we are going to see Selenia being the one on the defensive. Draco Cat, though, trying to find possession of the core, is going to take a little bit of damage here, but will it matter? Draco Cat has that flip to work with if they could get the core in their hands, but so far it's going to be denied away. Overtime now hitting, and this perfect Zentaro is hurting Draco Cat with no flip, able to be bounced around, barely staying alive, has to blow that flip defensively to keep herself alive. But the core will eventually find their way over to them, and that Finny tired emote, I think, is the perfect expression right now. Spending most of that point fully staggered, no dodge, but you get it in eventually. And now 1 point goes over to the side of solo queue.
Solo queue turning things around, really taking a lot of swagger and putting like momentum onto the map. They find a KO onto That'll Do Pig, but Jiggle Supreme with the Atlas special will end up saving them, and a goal barrier will fall. But I'm already seeing a lot of improvement from the side of solo queue, so we will have to see if they can continue this kind of momentum.
Yeah, and one goalie barrier down for both teams. Shy now, though, on the defensive, but is looking comfortable with a lot of that confidence, as well as a core flip. As I say that, the Caster's Curse rears its head. Both goalie barriers go down for both teams. Now Draco Cat find themselves again low on stagger and spending some time in the 12-second vacation villa, but right now, Shine's going to be the one on the offensive, looking for some plays with the eject button. Selenia with the secondary, preventing a lot of those passing plays, but it is overtime. And now Shine able to clear it one more time, but it's going to cost them their lives. And Cozy and That'll Do Pig are trying to get it through, but it's going to be blocked away from the two forwards of solo queue. Selenia getting a clear through the center, but now it's a 1v1. That'll Do Pig, actually gets blocked away from the respawn of Shine, has that Giga Blast, miffs, has that barrage, not going to find anything either. And now no cooldowns for this Kai. Only needs one mistake, one lost strike war, and it's going to be going over to the side of the Platinum Horde. That'll Do Pig now has another opportunity again, and there it is. A critical strike war win gets it past both Selenia and Shine, and now we're equalized on the set.
What an important set as well. This is like, I'm getting goosebumps watching this set myself. Like, I'm getting fired up. I'm in the spirit for I'm in the corner of Solo Cube right now. I'm having a little bit of bias, but honestly, I think it's well worth it with how they're playing right now.
Yeah, and you always like to see a reverse sweep on an important game, definitely, but the Platinum Horde will be doing their best to deny us here as they are getting 2 barriers down. Flip, unfortunately, goes wide from Cozy, but it doesn't matter. That'll do Pig, able to get there, pick up the slack, and preserve core possession. But as I say that, actually, double barriers go down for the side of the Platinum Horde, and Draco Cat, unfortunately, not able to secure it with a flip. Things are still looking dire. Oh, the flow state is there, but barely able to miss out on that critical redirect. Now, Shine, 1 redirect from getting a flip. It does not matter. He is able to get that flip, able to clear it through the center. Now, Draco Cat has that flow state. Just needs 1 touch on the core, but is not able to find it right now. Selenia trying to get it to Draco Cat again, but nothing's going to be found as we are getting an overtime here on Oni Village. Now, Cozy and That'll Do Pig now finds themselves on an aggressive play, and whoa, Shine! Barely able to save it out. The core is going so fast, but the clear to center is not going to make the difference. 1 point away from Platinum Horde taking the game.
A bit unfortunate, but it seems like Selenia, or it seems like Shine trusted Selenia to cover that top corner, and just not enough communication, I think. Is game point for the Platinum Horde. We've been in this situation before, and so have Solo Q. Let's see if they can have a repeat of the last set happen.
Yeah, and we are an open goal away. Giga Blast does come out, keeping the core in play for a little bit longer, but it's just 1 mistake, and there it is! That'll Do Pig wins the interaction in the corner and punches their team's ticket to the finale. Platinum Horde is going to be finding themselves winning the game and winning their qualification spot for the finale next week. Of course, Draco, Cat, Selenia, and Shine have 1 more opportunity in the losers bracket, but now after a 30-minute Oni Village game, they're going to be sweating a little bit, I think, in that loser side.
No, it's truly unfortunate. I thought they had the turnaround, but it didn't seem like they had enough gas in the tank there at the end. Shine just kind of losing that war of attrition, and Shine played an absolutely magnificent game, holding it down for Draco Cat and Selenia, and I feel some of that confidence just kind of rubbed off, but in the end it seemed the Platinum Horde were just a little too insurmountable just this time around. But well played to both teams, and it just, some truly unfortunate.
Yeah, absolutely. And shout out to Jiggle Supreme after, I believe they've shown up all 6 weeks looking to qualify, and finally, on their last chance, the last week of the regular season of OSAS, they are going to be punching their ticket, so props to them specifically, able to finally get their much-needed dub. That'll Do Pig and Cozy, of course, no slouches either, with some excellent passing plays on that Oni Village, to get them through that game as well. But I'm talking about qualification points right now. We did see our first team just punch their ticket, but we do have 7 more spots on the OSAS finale train coming up soon. I believe that's going to be it for me and Izan